You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, let's just admit it, your house guests were disgusting. And so, in our opinion, is the food at the so-called world's best restaurant. It's been just kind of a housekeeping week because the small cutie has flown away. So all cuties are gone.
So you're cleaning up after them?
Yes, yes, that's exactly what happens. I mean, there's the usual when guests, and this, the holiday season, everybody has guests, right? A lot of people have guests. That's normal.
Well, we're not normal up here.
But well, no argument from me. But when you have guests and they leave, that's when you hate having guests.
Right.
It's just revolting what guests leave behind. I mean, you expect you're going to strip the beds, you're going to empty the garbage cans, but it's a lot of personal hygiene things that you just forget that are loathsome when you have to do them for other people.
What, did your kids leave you bed bugs?
Not quite. No, that would not be loathsome. That would be unacceptable is what that would be. I'm sidetracking here for a minute once. Speaking of hospitality and bugs gone horribly amok, I was waitressing late night, all nights, and there was the absolutely gorgeously cute fellow student with a drug problem who knocked on my door as I was heading out for work, and I said, you know what, you can crash in my bed. I'm not going to be back for 12 hours. Just be gone when I get home. So he was gone, but he left crabs.
What?
Crabs in my bed. Those little licey things that actually look like crabs.
Yikes.
I know. I was just no good deed goes unpunished. And it takes a few days before you realize what's going on, right?
I guess I can't. I have not had that experience.
I mean, this is a thing that's supposed to happen to football players in high school. It's not supposed to happen to 19-year-old cocktail waitress university students. And eventually
I think football players get toe fungus.
The worst of it is if it's the middle of the night and there's nothing you can do when you figure it out. What you do is you eventually get out your big magnifying glass that you use for your Oxford English Dictionary and you look at yourself and then you're horrified because there's nothing more horrifying in the whole. The good news about head lice is you can't look at them yourself.
Right.
Right. But these you can examine in detail and freak yourself out.
You're giving me nightmares.
It's horrible. And I was desperate. I went and got a giant bottle of bleach. I was just desperate. And eventually I remembered.
You bleached your lady parts?
I did. I bleached the exterior parts of I was desperate. It said you could. Now, this was before the days where everybody wanted to resemble a 2-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So they say, well, you can shave everything. And I'm like, what? Who does that? Because in those days, nobody did that except specially, yes, exactly, specially bespoke people in the industry. So I wasn't about to do that. Although if I hadn't remembered, and this I will say, have you ever had an ex-boyfriend who comes through in a strange way that you never expected?
Can't say that I have because they were exes for a reason.
Well, I remembered that my ex-boyfriend, who had flaws but was a decent guy mostly, I remembered that he had mentioned that he had this problem at some point after we had broken up. And bless his heart, I called him at 2 a.m. and explained what was happening. And he got out of bed, got dressed, took a cab to deliver to me the remainder of this stuff called Quell lotion, which works, unless, of course, now the crabs are stronger. It works in one application. It's gone, done. I don't know what it does to these things, but it's like the Red Lobster furious flamage of crabs. I don't know what it is. It's just they were.
What did you do with Crab Boy?
Well, I never lent him my bed. That's for sure. I'm trying to remember if I let him know that he was so, again, this wasn't somebody I knew well. This was that guy that you feel bad for his parents who have sent him to college, and it's a total waste of their money because all he's doing is getting high and flunking out. And you can see that he was once the most beautiful and charming boy. I once felt like looking him up to see what the heck had happened to him. I had a crush on him until I realized that he was a complete dissolute, just falling apart.
Probably in the Senate or the House of Representatives would be my guess.
I don't think he survived long after college. He was a pretty big mess. It was very
well. Maybe
pretty.
you'll hear from him and he'll tell you that I don't have crabs anymore on one of our many websites.
I feel like, what's that song? I Want to Be Bobby's Girl. Yeah. I don't have crabs anymore. You don't have crabs anymore. When people ask me, what would I like to be now that I don't have crabs anymore? I know just what to say. I answer right away. I could go on, but I'm not gonna. Just not gonna.
Is this podcast going to have like a disclaimer?
This one is going to be labeled adult content. This one, clean, not clean. This is an unclean podcast for so many reasons. And what was I being distracted from? There was the kids leave.
Oh, the kids mess.
Here's the thing: I take my showers at the pool usually when I swim, and the spousal unit has no hair. So I'd forgotten, you have to clean that hair catcher. When people have hair, there's hair in there. Blah, blah. I pulled a small animal out of my bathtub.
Yeah, we have that problem frequently because, first of all, we all have hair.
Nice.
Frankie's hair is longer than mine right now.
Yes.
Then we have animals with hair that we all share the same bathtub. So... And let's see, right now my hair is purple. Eve's hair is blue.
So you can tell who's not cleaning out the drain.
You can tell whose hair it is.
You can shame them. You can hair shame them.
Oh, it happens. Believe me, it happens. Especially since Frankie is usually the hair grabber guy who will say, okay, Eve, this is your hair.
and he waves around the dead animal comprised of blue hair. I just thought of another terrible, terrible song we could redo, which I will not. But Willie Nelson's Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain?
Yes.
You could call it Blue Hairs Lying in My Drain.
There you go.
Sorry, I had to do that.
But yes, hair, stuff in drains is just like never nice.
No, you don't. I mean, you need them. You need those plastic drains. This is the thing, okay? If I were just a little less environmentally sensitive,
you'd use Drano?
No, I would prefer to. If you want to know what I would like to waste, if waste were permitted. You know how, like, in the days in the 60s, when you finished your picnic lunch, a lot of people just took their garbage and dumped it on the ground, which my family never did, but a lot of people did?
They still do out here in the woods, unfortunately.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Or the forest, I should
Terrible.
say.
Well, if I were the kind of person who believed in just filling up the landfill for no good reason, I would just go to the dollar store and buy a zillion hair catchers. And anytime somebody came to visit, or anytime I just felt like it, I would just pick up the whole hair catcher, throw it out, and start with a new one. That's what I would do.
Well, can you use like just some kind of, I forget what it's called, but like those paper screen things?
What?
Because it's some kind of a paper screen thing.
But it's going to be wet. I mean, how would that work in a drain to use a paper screen?
Just pull it out and throw it away.
But it's already falling apart. Like, what kind of paper are we talking about? Like wax paper?
No. It's like a special paper for cooking, not parchment paper.
Wax paper.
No. Have you ever cooked with wax paper?
I just made the spousal unit's birthday cake with wax paper lining the springform pan. Yes, I did.
And it didn't like wax all over your food?
kind of wax paper are you using?
It's wax.
Are you wax
melts.
papering? I like
Candles are made of wax.
no, I don't use wax paper that is like Hanukkah candles. I don't know where you buy your. Where do you go to? Like some off-brand, like half an inch thick wax paper? Just peel it off. You just peel it off your cake. I don't know what
Ew.
I don't know what to say to you.
Ew.
I don't know. You ate those candy beads, what they used to call politically incorrectly wampum beads. That's on wax paper.
Yeah, but I didn't eat the wax.
You don't eat them. All right. This Speaking of wax paper, I finally saw the movie The Menu.
Not me. That scares me.
I loved it because it made fun of this super high-end fine dining experience, the hundreds and hundreds of dollar ridiculous fine dining experience, among other things that it made fun of. And no sooner do I finish watching it than the New York Times reports on some restaurant in Scandinavia that's supposed to be the best restaurant in the whole world.
Yep.
I couldn't get through the article because the minute I got to reindeer heart on a bed of pine shavings, I just burst out laughing because I have as much use for this food section as I do for their real estate section, with the $4 million condo conversion and the contractors who are just like family to us. And then, of course, the fashion section. The entire fashion section can go up in flames for all the difference it makes to me. But I realize that there are actually people who care very much about getting their sorbet served to them in a beeswax bowl. And for those people,
I went to Arby's the other day.
Oh, Arby's. That's a long way from reindeer heart.
True.
And I was especially concerned to see that it was in a Scandinavian country where the culture says that you do not take the best of anything.
What part of the best of everything is a reindeer heart?
It's the pine shavings. Well, I would rather eat those.
Yeah, me too.
I'd rather eat the pine shavings. You sort of wonder if when these people, these high-end restaurant people go home, if they don't just laugh till stuff comes out their noses. I mean, I would. If someone were paying $500 for a tasting menu of a reindeer heart on a bed of, I mean, seriously, that's what you put in your guinea pig's cage. It's not what you serve people. What the hell is wrong?
You feed your guinea pig reindeer's heart?
No, I'm just saying the pine shavings are small animal bedding. That's not for food. The heck are they doing?
My goats love tree bark.
Good. Give it to the goats.
I'm watching them right now.
I am revealing my lowbrow roots, but I think maybe if we change the name of the podcast, we'll just have to call it your lowbrow roots. I need to get this taste of reindeer heart out of my mental mouth. And you mentioned you were having a tech problem.
Okay, so I have an iPhone, which is Siri. Our TV remote for our satellite is Alexis.
Ah.
For some reason, Alexis understands everything that I say. Siri, on the other hand, can't get anything right.
Well, there's an obvious solution for this.
What?
You say, Alexa, tell Siri.
Yeah.
You just treat Alexa and Siri like a couple of fifth graders. Donna, tell Stephanie.
It drives me nuts.
No, it's easy. Donna, tell Stephanie not to borrow my hairbrush anymore. That's what you want. Say, that easy.
I will say, Eve, I need you in the house, and it will come out. Steve wants to eat fish with his broccoli. Like nothing even close to what I'm saying. And I'll try changing my voice like this. Or I'll whisper, or I'll give it my sexy voice and go, hey, Siri. Nothing works. And I don't understand why Alexa understands me and Siri does not.
This circles back.
Siri.
Siri is the patrician and Alexa is the lowbrow.
least Alexa can find whatever trash on TV that I need.
Yeah, and Alexa won't want to eat anything out of a beeswax bowl or on wood shavings. So
Exactly.
Alexa can go to Arby's, and Siri is stuck eating reindeer heart on pine shavings.
assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.